my airtime on the phone?
Yeah.
Yes, and do it roaming.
Nyinza okukola gundi. Nyinza okukola tebikola ebya bando.
Tebikola bando tezikola roaming.
Jaja Mzungu, you have 30 seconds to the broadcasting house.
Jaja Mzungu, mpereza yako bifananyi mu inbox nenda abawonyumidde mu kinu.
Daybreak.
Bando zange.
Good morning, okay. Daybreak. Good morning, Jaja Mzungu. Sam.
Yangu David Semakula ngatanda tutwala yangu good morning.
Okay, over now to broadcasting house.
Nzani mukuru w'ekikala gidde. A very good morning to you, friends. Again, it is a great honor to have each and every single one of you to our meeting today. I will never cease to amplify the gratitude of all the daybreakers to each and every single one of you for always being with us every Thursday morning, to a point that even when you are in Arusha, nothing stops you to be with us. Thank you, Jaja Mzungu, and all your colleagues and comrades of the morning crew for keeping us awake since 6 a.m. in the morning. So friends, it's a very good morning here at Kampala Daybreak. And again, we are under the good stewardship of the body group Raspberries. So it is now my privilege to invite you, Stephen Wax, to kindly guide us through the flow of our lineup today. Stephen Wax, over to you.
Thank you, President. I pray that I'm audible.
You are loud and clear. Go right ahead.
All right. We have a formidable lineup. And for the lineup and for the grace, it will be Rotarian Yerusa. For the loyal toast, it will be Rotarian William. For the four-way test, it will be Engineer Jimmy Ogwal. Then we'll have Rotary information. Introduction of panelists will be by Rotarian Wilberforce. Interaction will be by Rotarian Ingrid. For the vote of thanks, it will be by Rotarian Patience. Statistics by Rotarian Irene, and the final toast by Rotarian Jen. Rotarian Yerusa, can you take it away? Your Rotarian Yerusa?
In the absence of Yerusa, I will invite Rotarian Yedida to give us the grace.
Appropriate replacement.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Sergeant at Arms. Good morning, Rotarians and friends of Rotary. Let's humble ourselves for the grace. Father, we thank you for a gift of life. We thank you for today. We thank you for each and everyone's blessings. We thank you for Rotary. King of Kings, we pray that you help us to always be mindful for the needs of others. In Jesus' name, amen. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Yedida. William Turiyomurugendo, a name that Wax could not pronounce, kindly give us the loyal toast.
Good morning, Rotarians and friends of Rotary. Let's receive the royal toast this morning. This is a royal toast for the good health of the President of the Republic of Uganda, all the people of Uganda, and for the good and healthy fellowship for all Rotarians on call this morning and Rotarians world over. Over to you.
A toast to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you very much, William, for the amazing and rare loyal toast. Engineer Jimmy Ogwal, please carry us through the four-way test.
Yes, good morning, Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests who have joined us this morning. Let's join in and recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's go and do this in all our daily personal and community relationships.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rotarian Jimmy Ogwal, for starting us off well with the announcement. The first announcement is, let us go out and live the four-way test that we do pronounce every single moment of Rotary. Great Rotary information there. And friends, I will request that you add a block to the Rotary information. Should you have any Rotary information, I'll kindly request that you raise your hand. We will definitely allow you space to voice your Rotary information. But should you feel you are a Muchiga enough, just unmute and dive straight into your Rotary information. Over to you, Rotarians. And I will request that Rotarian Dorothy Cheyune, all the way from Kampala, Maisha, to start us off. And you'll be followed by none other than Rotarian Peter Odoki. So in that order, please amplify your Rotary information with us.
Thank you so much, President. Good morning, friends. Rotary information, I would like to invite you to our 6th presidential installation that will be happening on the 1st of June, Wednesday, 1st June, at Rosaho Bistro Restaurant. No fee, but please just prepare your gold and black dress code. The dress code is gold and black, and we'll be installing President-elect Milton Owor with our guest speaker, Richard Biarugaba from NSSF. 1st June, we'll be installing our 6th president at Kampala, Maisha. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Happy and already enjoying being with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And we will indeed be glad to join you. P.O., over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and good morning, everybody on this call. Mine is to announce the installation of the 20th president of the Rotary Club of Waterloo. This will happen on the 20th of May, which is 8 days away, at Mistil. We shall be installing President Mario Nakunda, who is no stranger to many of us on this call. And this is to invite you and put your notice about this impending installation. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very, very, very much. I will now want to invite none other than PE KK, all the way from Gulu. Please voice your Rotary information.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My Rotary information is also in regard to installation of PKK, which will happen on the 2nd of July in Gulu at Acholi Inn. Ticket fee is only $1,000 for Rotaractors and guests. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for sharing the Rotary information with us, and we really appreciate it. So friends, I would like to give an opportunity to any that has Rotary information, and I will give a lot of people opportunities today so that we don't miss out on any Rotary information. So should you have Rotary information you wish to share with us, this is the moment, and you are welcome to rightly do so. And before I can invite you, my PE, to give you Rotary information, allow me, as president, give a very, very vital information. And then because you're my president, come 1st of July, I'll hand over the microphone to yourself. Friends, the day is finally here. It is none other than the 26th of April, and all roads as early as 6:45 a.m., we will be installing our 11th president. Wow. And this is none other than, imagine, President Edward Mugerwa, who is our current treasurer. What a day it will be. I will invite each and every single one of you. A card goes for only 100,000 shillings. That goes to contribute to our breakfast. So I really invite you, friends, to join us as we install our 11th president. And having said that, allow me a moment or a microsecond for you to hear the voice of the incoming president. PE, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for that information. I think it is well received. Mr. President, I wanted to bring to your attention, as well as everyone on call, that today we are privileged to have our incoming Assistant Governor for Kampala Area 3, AGE Judy, is here to fellowship with us. Thank you, Mr. President, and welcome, AG Judy.
Awesome. Great insight there. AGE, it is always an honor, privilege, and a joy for you to be with us at daybreak. This is your home. You are always very welcome anytime, any day to be with us. Friends, in the interest of time, and because today we have very, very interesting discussion, I would like to request, with all due respect, that should you have any further Rotary information, please channel it through our chat section and we'll give it the due attention that it deserves. So having said that, colleagues, today we have a very, very, very interesting day. As you very well know, we are into the month of our youth. So I would like to, with no much further ado, invite none other than Rotarian Wilberforce Amanya to kindly present to us the gallant men and women that will be guiding us through our discussion about our youth today. Rotarian Wilberforce Amanya, over to you.
Thank you, President. And good morning to you, Rotarians, Retractors, and friends of Rotary. It is my singular honor and pleasure to introduce these gallant youth leaders that we are having this morning that are going to help us understand the youth more. With us, Mr. President, we have the President Rotary Club of Chambogo and the DCA Chair Rotary year 2022-2023, and an accountant by profession, who is our moderator today, Miss Ingrid Atgonza. Dear Rotarians and friends, receive Rotractor Ingrid Atgonza. Miss Atgonza, you are most welcome. President, also allow me to introduce these distinguished panelists of today and Rotary leaders and panelists. We have the malaria youth. We have the board member of Malaria Youth Champion with us, the board member of Rotary Uganda Cancer Program, and a banking economist working as the credit verification officer at DFCU Bank. Rotarians and friends, receive Rotarian Jacobo Sendaora, the former district Rotract representative. Rotarian Jacobo, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Also with us this morning is the great lady a member of Youth African Leadership, former Uganda chapter, an alumni African Presidential Leadership Program, and a member of East Africa Young Ambassadors Forum. She's currently working as the sales team leader at Njoza Solution. Please receive Rotractor Sarah Owembabazi and the district Rotary representative-elect for the year 2022-2023, Rotractor Sarah Owembabazi. Rotractor Sarah, you are most welcome this morning.
Thank you very much.
Also with us, we have the board chairman of Rotary Africa and an IT and cybersecurity specialist, and the current district Rotary representative, Aaron Mukasa Ntambi. Aaron Mukasa Ntambi, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Mr. President. That is the distinguished team that we have today to take us through the discussion of this morning. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Amanya Wilberforce. I will consider it a pressure to host these gallant leaders of Rotary today here at Kampala Daybreak. But with no much further ado, I will pass over the pressure to our moderator for today, none other than Rotractor, Ingrid Atugonza. Atugonza means she loves us. Thank you for loving us, to bring us these very able leaders to help us understand our youth. We need to understand our youth better because they are the future of our country. So Rotractor Ingrid Atugonza, allow me to turn this session to you to journey us through our discussion today. Over to you, Rotractor Ingrid.
Thank you very much, CMP Frederick. All protocol observed, good morning. I would like to thank you for this opportunity once again. And dear panelists, you're welcome. And I will get straight to the gist of today's fellowship, helping people understand the youth. So my first question to you, dear panelists, will be, okay, I'll keep asking questions and then I'll engage the audience later. And for those of us who have questions, kindly raise your hand because I won't be able to read through the chat room. Thank you. Okay, so our first question will be, youth usually say, according to the Rotarians, the youth say that they are not understood by the elders. What is it that you think they do not understand about the youth? In no particular order, I think you will answer, or should I pick on you? Okay, we'll start with Jacob.
Thank you very much, Chair. I thought I'd put on my video because the sun is nice today. And good morning to you all, Rotary senior leaders and all members. I think, in my view, maybe before I submit, I would like to apologize that I'll leave very early because of an impromptu work meeting. But to tell you that the main issue here might be a generational gap, understanding that we have a generation, I called it before independence, and a generation post-independence and into the 2000s. And most of the young people now are people born in the 1990s and beyond, people who have grown up in an internet suffocated era, in an era of no instruction, but follow your heart, in an era of express yourself and things like that. So if young people say they are not understood, It might be because we have a generational difference, which can also be an opportunity if you look at it from a different angle. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Sarah?
Thank you very much, CMP Ingrid. I would like to think the statement is both true and also false. So however much as young people, we want to be understood by the older generation, but we also have to understand the older generation. Sometimes as young people, we feel so entitled. Because I am young, you have to give me the platform, you have to listen to me, or I have the best ideas. And sometimes it's just probably a national issue and we are stressed, and then we want to, you want to think you're marginalized, yet you're actually not marginalized. Or sometimes you're being told the right thing and you don't want to listen. However, it is also true that sometimes some old people will not, slightly older people will not give you the audience that you actually need. So I think the solution here is that all of us have to be interested in understanding each other. From all aside, as young people, we have to understand the elder people, and also the elder people have to understand us. So for me, it is two-way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for that submission. Alan, kindly give us a submission.
Thank you very much, CMP Ingrid. Good morning, friends. This question is quite interesting, but I want to answer it with a quote by Pablo Picasso, which says, "The young people do not know enough to be prudent, and therefore they attempt the impossible and achieve it generation after generation." So sometimes young people feel they are not understood because of the fact that the older people think things should be done in a particular way, but also the young people think they can do it in another way maybe, but still achieve it. So in the process, usually there is they seem not to be understood because maybe they are told, no, it has to work this way. So you're telling me it has to work this way, but I also know that if I do it this way, I will achieve it, which is both good and bad, because sometimes it could be maybe they need money and they want to use the shortcut, but also it could be that, you know what, you're telling me to type this, but if I scan it, I can actually give you the work. I can give you the work in a shorter and in the right way. So that's my take on when youth say maybe they are not understood. It's both. It could be both for selfish reason or for a good reason, but usually it's just that they want to agree or disagree to agree to come up with the right results at both ends. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll move straight to the next question. What would you say are the strengths or weaknesses of the youth, and what things do you think make the youth tick? We'll start with Sarah.
First of all, being young alone is already a bonus, because it means that you still have a lot more energy. You still have a lot more time to probably do mistakes and then correct them, learn from them, which a slightly older person might not have. So you still have the liberty to probably move from this job to another job, try employment, then, go back to self-employment, then probably get, that is already advantageous alone. But also as young people, the other strength is that, for example, right now, globally or also nationally, the focus, we have woken up and we have realized that the biggest population is the young people. So every organization right now is trying to see how to bring in the young people, because they know they're innovative, they're creative. So all those are ticks, and there's so many other ticks that that as a young person you just advantage just because you are young. But there are also challenges, as there's competition. As much as there's focus on the young people, you also have to probably put in effort. You have to interest yourself in ensuring that you actually, if you're doing business, you actually know what you're doing. And because we are also many, so you also have to make sure there's something that makes you tick from the rest. So that is also a threat. However much maybe we are also good, even the older generation have experience. So they are also good. They also have what to offer. Some are even much more better. So they're also creative. They're also innovative. So sometimes even somebody who is older than you has all the qualities that you have on top of experience and on top of, so that is also a challenge on its own. But the other disadvantage is that like you've said, some people don't want to give you platform, or they think because you are young. I'll give you an example. Because I am a young person, I'll be called to a meeting last minute. So other people have been notified earlier, but because somebody thinks you probably don't have what to do, and they'll just be like, please come here. Probably they have had a whole week to plan for a meeting, and they'll call you today morning and they want you at 3, and they'll just be like, please be at this meeting at this time. So the person doesn't think you're probably employed somewhere or you have something to do, but just because you're young, you're just expected to be there right away. So that's also another challenge. But then also as a young person, you have to probably tell the person, because you told me last minute, I'm not able to make it. Or just such that the person thinks you also have, and in most times you actually have what to do. So those are some of the challenges. I'll let my other colleagues add on. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Jacob.
Thank you very much, moderator. I'll make a few points on that. The first one is, if you look at all the great things that have been done in the world, even in our own country, these things have been done by young people. It is young people who mobilize people, for these young people who think of revolutionary ideas. It is young people who bring change-making ideas to life. So young people have that strength of thinking first and doing things first. And if you look at our own organization itself, Paul Harris started Rotary when he was young. He was not 70 or 80 or 60 or 50. He was in his late 30s or early 40s. So that means that now look at Rotary today. It tells you what young people can create. All of us are here as a very proud Rotarians, and I have members of my club on call, and they will tell you that we are very proud of being Rotarians and Rotarians of Kampala as that. But this organization started because of young minds. So if you want to think of organizations and societies that are great today and in the future, it is no doubt that young people must take a forefront. But the greatest weakness a young person can have is to think that they have time. I think that is the greatest weakness we have, thinking that you have 30 more years or 40, forgetting that life is very unpredictable. At 30, certain disease might just hook you up out of nowhere, and you get puzzled about your future. Very unfortunate things can happen. So the best thing a young person can do is maximize their now and now, so that we know that if today I have done the best I can in the best way that is possible, even if misfortune catches up with me now or in the future, at least I will tell myself that I did what I could when I could. And moderator, as I said earlier, I'll be dropping off at 7:30. I would like to make a closing remark and then let my wonderful senior leaders take you on for the rest of the panel discussion. And my closing is simple. For organizations and societies to thrive, any organization and society to thrive, investment in young people is not optional. Presenting opportunities that are equally available and bringing to a table a level of discussion that is respectful and intentional is important for young people will an assurance for our investment in today, our thriving in today as organizations and societies, but most importantly, our impact in the future. Our impact when we are unable to do things and to move things, or when we are actually not here anymore. So our conversation on understanding young people, I think, comes at a very right time, especially when we are thinking very robustly as an organization on how we can maximize on the diversity in age and all that to see that we can move our organization forward. I would like to thank this Rotary Club for the great opportunity to make some noise for you. And I would like to wish you great deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jacob, for your submission and for sharing with us this morning. Alan?
Thank you very much, Simpi. Strength and weaknesses of young people. One thing I know for sure is that young people have the energy and they have the time. They have quite the time on their plate. Like it or not, they do. It depends on how you see it. And then the older people have the resources, but certainly not much time and the energy. For example, if you sent a young person to an errand and the results might come in quick than if you sent a little elderly or a very busy person. But also it is true that young people are very critical to their either parents and even other adults. And for I know everyone on call has been young, and you know, sometimes young people tend to rebel against everything. But this is usually in quest. You see, young people want to find, they always want to find alternatives to things. And on the other hand, you know, it's true, young people can be moody, stubborn, and by the way, they can be cynical. But also it's true that they are sensitive, they are very enthusiastic and full of energy if they are concerned at what is happening. Because it's also true that they are not yet mature because they are young. And it is that period of the time where they make, where very many changes because these changes are happening both mentally and physically, it's often forgotten that there are changes happening, that this is a young person and there are changes happening. And as elders usually, or as parents, instead of maybe ridiculing, what we do is, or the best alternative would be to guide. And sometimes dialogue, listening in. Young people want to be listened to. It could be called entitlement of a sort, but I call it that they seek the attention to be listened to. And economies that have listened to their young people and guided them. Yes, you listen and guide them. I think they are doing well, and one of them I think is China. In terms of technology, giving them the opportunity, because young people have the innovative minds, and they are trying to find their society, their place in the society, and are trying something new and challenging every other day. So that's the kind of young people. They have both those weaknesses and strength, and because they are always in search for their idols and role models, and they try to imitate them. So most of the time, whatever a youth is acting like or behaving like, I don't think on a very larger percentage, I don't think they have invented it, especially in terms of behavior and living. Certainly they have seen it from either a peer or someone older. So those are young people for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alan, for your submission. My next questions will be kind of related. So in terms of Elevate Rotary Act, what can we expect to change, and how does it change the game for us? And in addition, how do you think the gap can be bridged between the youth, in this case, the Rotary actors and the Rotarians? We'll start with you, Alan, briefly.
Thank you very much, CMP. First of all, I would like to appreciate Rotary in this part of our world, in Uganda. You heard that I'm board chairman Rotary Africa, and I want to give you a scenario when the Rotary International President, Sheikh Ameta, visited Africa. What he saw here, he didn't see it anywhere, and he mentioned it in our several meetings with the governors. He never, in any part of the district, in these other districts in our zone, he did not have a private time, for example, with the DRLs, with the Rotaractors, which he had here, because here he had a one-on-one, and our counterparts in the other parts of Africa, they were following, because this everything was being streamed live, and they would send us message, and they're like, we wish the Rotary International President started the visits from your districts. Then it would have given us a better platform. So I want to thank you, Rotarians, for giving us the opportunities. Though it is true that sometimes we do abuse these opportunities. Now, coming with what Elevate Rotary Act brings, calling us partners and certainly elevating Rotaract clubs from being a program of Rotary International to a club, because usually we were in chapter 5 of the Rotary International Constitution, which called us a program, and now we've been elevated to chapter 2, which calls us a club. And the best thing we can do at Elevate Rotaract is work with the young people the right way. I had dear Sarah saying sometimes we are invited late to these meetings. Sometimes, though it has changed a little bit, sometimes when there are projects, usually it's our presidents that receive these calls, and they are told, hey, tell your Rotaractors we have a meeting, we have a project in Chanamukaka, for example, and it's happening on Saturday. And guess what? My president is receiving this information on a Thursday. So two things are going to happen. It's either because young people have their own programs, and by the way, certainly they might not be going to do anything productive, but however much it's not productive, they already set it in their program. And maybe with Elevate Rotary, we need to go to something called mutual respect. Invite these young people, plan with them, sit with them. And what this is doing is that you're teaching them how to do the right thing. The best way you can ever teach someone, and most of you here on call are parents. If you're going to reprimand someone, or your daughter or son, or if you're just going to scold them, don't do it. Yes, they will not do it in your presence, but they will do it in your absence because you just said don't do it. But if you said don't do it and give reasons why it shouldn't be done in a very loving manner, I think that way it gets better and you get understood. So mutual respect is very key, elevate Rotaract, but also what it's going to do for us is that we are going to grow the numbers, the Rotary numbers exponentially, because our organization depends on numbers. It depends on membership. I see Rotary clubs struggle with recruiting people from out, which is okay, it's good. But imagine if we would have Rotaractors transition. I have a database this year. One thing I've done as DRI is compile a database of over 150 Rotaractors who are due for transition. And for the first time in history, we've had over 12 Rotaractors transition to Rotary in 1 year. And I think Kampala South has done good this year because it has taken on over 7 Rotaractors of the 12. So I think that's my view of what it should be like, of what Elevate Rotaract is coming up with. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alan. Sarah, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ingrid. I'd like to first say, first of all, Rotary is one of the few organizations in this world, especially in our country, that is very organized and also has for a very long time has identified that the potential is actually in grooming generations. As you can see, we have Rotary, we have Rotaract, and we have Interact. Most recently, we had Aliact, because we live in generations. So, and today, the young people today are going to be the Rotarians tomorrow, and the Interactors today are going to eventually become the Rotaractors later, and then the children who are being born today are going to, and that's the cycle. So, and Rotary has actually, for a very long time already established that, countries are just waking up, organizations are just waking up. So our organization already, in terms of securing the future, has already done that. So what we have to do as the current Rotarians, Rotarians, is to probably understand that, and also, for example, we have to mentor ourselves. In terms of securing the future of our Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs and then Interact clubs, we have to be very intentional about it. We have to ensure we mentor the young people, and then mentorship in terms of Rotary knowledge, mentorship in terms of capacity, because I could be knowledgeable about Rotary, about Rotaract, I've understood all that it means, but I don't have the capacity in terms of financial capacity, in terms of ability to actually transition to a Rotary club, yet I have the will. I actually understand what we are doing, but there's one aspect that I have not fulfilled. I don't have the ability to pay the Rotary dues. I don't have the ability to keep coming for fellowship every week. Yeah, so I think what we have to be very intentional in our clubs to ensure that from both sides, even the young people, that we are using the platforms that we have to ensure that we are becoming, 360 degrees, if I can use that, like you're growing in all aspects. So I'm growing in terms of knowledge. I'm also growing in terms of capacity, such that I am able to actually transition later on, such that the future of our organization is guaranteed, especially in our district. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I think I will ask one more question and open it up to the floor to ask as well. Well, I've just compressed the questions, but I really had many, but I'll give chance to the rest to ask as well. So, what do you consider the most critical roles of youth in today's society? And what differentiates the youth of today from the youth in the past? Alan, we'll start with you again.
Thank you very, very much. What is the most critical role of the youth today? We must appreciate that young people today, they are community aware. And thanks be to this organization, Rotary, because it's giving us that platform to be community aware. And the most critical role of young people today is to build the world that they want, to build is that they want, that they wish to see. We have the opportunity, we have the time, to do what we think is right, or to put in place what we think that we need to see. For example, I usually say that, I usually tell my fellow Rotaractors that, guess what, guys? We are in Rotaract, but we need to remember that we are not going to be the same 10, 15 years from now. For example, myself, I joined Rotaract coming to 9 years ago, but it's now 9 years ago, and I was a very young boy in my vacation senior 6. Now, today we are talking about Alan, who is married with a son. So if I don't deliberately work towards the world I want to see, if I do not deliberately self-improve myself as a young person, then then in the next 10 years, it's going to be disaster. And I usually tell my fellow Rotaractors, and these are conversations that we have with them, is that we need to be at the level of creating friendships, not just acquaintances. You see, Rotary gives us the opportunity, we make the acquaintances. And I think it's one thing, I see it in the object of Rotary, developing acquaintances, but we need to go, one of the most critical roles is that we need to build friendships. Who are those people that I'm going to call 20 years from now when my son is graduating? Okay. Yes, I might call Governor Sebalu, but Governor Sebalu then might be around 70 or even 80. He might not have the energy. Definitely, you have to send me a representative. He might not be well. He might send his son. But the people I live with today, it is critical that I establish a very good relationship with them, both working, because these are the people I live with on a daily. So that is the biggest things I need to do. One is self-improve myself. 2, create a community, contribute to a community that a life that I want to see in the next 10, 15 years from now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Sarah?
Thank you very much, Ingrid. I'll speak about 2 things quickly. Something slightly out of Rotaract and then Rotary, and then something related to Rotary. For me, the critical role for us young people right now, and there's so many, but for me, what I see now is a challenge. The expectations are so high. If right now I am a Rotaractor, and then next about 2 years from now, which I'm going to do, I'm going to transition to Rotary. But then I look at myself, the Rotarians do the global grants. Will I have the capacity in 2 years to be able to, in my club, to add value to my club in terms of being able to participate on the global grants committee and do that project and everything? Will I have that capacity? So, or will I, because now, right now we are Rotaractors, but 2 years from now we are going to become Rotarians. And we are telling the Rotarians, you have to do this, you have to mentor us, and then for me, the challenge is for you after 2 years, will you have that capacity to be that Rotarian that you have always wanted to be? Now to your other the people that you have left in Rotaract. So the critical role now for us, the young people, is to grow our capacity, because today we are Rotaractors, tomorrow we are going to become the Rotarians, and perhaps even the Rotaractors at that time will be telling us the things we are actually telling the Rotarians right now. But when you get there, will you have that capacity to actually be the Rotarian you have always wanted to see? Sometimes you expect people to be things that we even can't do ourselves. Then the other thing, when I was on this call before, the morning crew, somebody said, the wetlands, they are comparing the current situation in Arusha and the current and what is happening in Uganda right now. And then they said, the cities are forests, there are rivers cutting through and everything. And then they said, yeah, we have spoiled the wetlands. And then somebody, I don't remember which Rotarian it was, but he said, and that is the challenge that we have, because today we are spoiling all the wetlands. So the burden now is on us, the young people, because now we are going to be the ones living at that time, all the ones in charge and everything. How shall we have the capacity to reverse all the problems that probably the current generation is causing? And we're also part of the problems, pollution, climate and everything. Shall we be able to reverse these things? And maybe the discussions we're supposed to be having right now is supposed to be concerned, because currently the majority of us, you wake up, you go to work, you get your small money, and you're not really bothered about what is happening. But I think the critical role for us as young people now is to be bothered about some of these things that are happening, because they are going to affect us, they're going to affect our children, they're going to affect their children and everything. So I think the critical role for us in all senses is to, in all aspects of life, is to, are we growing capacity? Are we being concerned about the things that are going to affect us later on and the things that are going to affect our people later? And just like Jacob said, we have limited time. Today I'm here, tomorrow something, I could get an accident and I'm not able to actually move and everything. So in everyone, the time that you have now, is there anything you are contributing? For example, to the organization, if you sleep, have you contributed anything to Rotary or to Rotary or to your country and even to the world at large? Thank you so much, Ingrid.
Thank you very much, Alan and Sarah, for sharing. I'll now open it up to the audience. Kindly raise your hand if you have any questions, and we can direct them to the Yes,
There is a hand up.
yes, DG Mike, kindly ask.
Yeah, thank you very much, moderator. And thank you very much, our leaders, Alan and Sarah, plus Jacob, who exited a while ago. Now, my comment is to the effect that we all need to appreciate, and even the young people, the road tractors, the youth, need to appreciate that youthfulness is a transition, not an end in itself. For that matter, you need to use it to empower yourself and be able to manage the future of yourself. So the quality of your youthfulness will determine and largely inform the quality of your adult life. So that is something we need to take seriously. I want to give myself as an example. I started leadership at a tender age. I represented the youth in the Constituent Assembly, but the skills, the influence, and the rapport that I picked with the seasoned leaders that I interacted with at that time has largely influenced the kind of leader that I came out to be, representing at the national level, regional level, and continental level. I got the inspiration, the energy, and the focus from there. I started as a road tractor, charter member of the Road Tract Club of Mbarara, and that largely influenced my Rotary journey, even when I exited for a while and came back, but the foundation largely influenced me, and it informs where I am today. So I want the young people always to use the youthfulness in a quality way to inform the future. The future of Rotary will depend on the quality of the road tractors we have today. Thank you.
Very much, DG Mike, for that. I don't see any other hand at the moment, so I'll ask again, maybe to my president, and maybe again to DG Mike. What would you have done different? What would you have done different given your experience as a Rotarian now? And maybe what would you have done different when you were still in your youthful stages?
I would take every opportunity to learn, to better myself. I think the whole thing is around humility. Be humble, be ready to listen with a view of understanding, not with a view of replying or a view of challenging. Be ready to learn, because through learning, you enhance your leadership position. So for me, humility in service, humility in learning, humility in engagement. So basically, to me, that is the game changer.
Okay, thank you very much. President Frederick, would you like to submit as well? What would you have done differently?
Thank you very much, moderator, for today. As we journey through life, it rightly indeed presents various opportunities at different levels, and I believe so even when we are young. To me, I don't know about the rest, is I know that for sure I have not made the most out of the opportunities that life has presented to me. So I would definitely and certainly like make the most out of every opportunity that life presented to me when I was young. I'll just give one illustration. When we were young, we used to eat mangoes. You'd eat a mango until when that thing is white. A mango is ripe and it is yellow. You'd eat it from when it is green to when that thing turns white. You would get every juice out of it. That is exactly what I would do if I was back to a youth, to every opportunity that presented itself to me. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Senator Frederick, for your submission. And because of time, allow me to end. I don't know if our panelists have any closing remarks. Sarah and Alan, do you have any closing remarks? And we can end the session.
Thank you very much, Ingrid. For me, the opportunities for all of us, whether young or old, are so many, especially in our organization, and the next social year elevator tract is going to be coming into force. And like you can see already, this is in itself. Thank you very much to the Club of Kampala Daybreak for hosting us. These are some of the things that keep encouraging us and also growing us. Opportunities to learn, opportunities to also be able to speak, and it might look small, but it is so big. For me, I look at it as a very big opportunity that I've been granted this morning. So in other words, the future is even much brighter. We are already taking deliberate effort to ensure that we are securing the future of our organization. Thank you so much. Let's keep doing it, and also with platforms that you've been given.
Alan, any closing remarks?
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say that conversations like this, opportunities like this presented to the youth, these are things that build the young people. And unfortunately, to us leaders, sometimes we are embarrassed as leaders of the young people, because we, for example, in a conversation like this, I've seen Rotaractors here, but to my thinking would be that we would even have more Rotaractors here. I'd like to thank Rotaractors who are on this call, because when we come to these conversations, unfortunately, not so many of our Rotaractors embrace them, and we come speak to our seniors and all this, but Rotaractors are not here. So as well as we ask Rotarians for all this we are asking for and all that, this and that, I think it is also important that as young people, we also be on the lookout for ourselves. It's very important, because we cannot keep asking for things that we cannot offer. We are asking for our leaders, our seniors to be present. We need to be present as young people. Whatever we are asking for, we need to do something about it. So I would like to thank you, friends, for inviting us to share with you. But I continuously say, do not cease, do not stop to speak to us. Speak to our behaviors, speak to our careers, speak to our professionalism. That way, we are not only building Rotary, but we are also building our country. We are building a better world. And I would like to end by saying that the energy and the resources you invest in these random youth that you meet everywhere, the projects that you go and do, you are saving your own children or even yourself, because you're limiting the chances of you driving on the streets of Kampala and someone is knocking your screen, your mirror, to take your good things, your gadgets and all that from you. There is the time you spend speaking to a young person, you're saving yourself an embarrassment of recruiting someone in your agency, a young man, and in your agency, and they rob you or they act unprofessionally. That's my call to us, and also to us Rotaractors. When an opportunity presents itself, I mean, prove yourself worthy of the opportunity. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alan. And Sarah and Jacob, who got off earlier. I've been getting messages in my inbox about questions in the chat room, but I mentioned at the start to raise your hands because the chat room is quite crowded. So back to you, CMP Frederick. Thank you very much for everyone that joined the call. And Rotary Kampala Daybreak, thank you for this opportunity. Looking to many more ahead. Thank you. Back to you, President Frederick.
Mr.
Excellent.
President.
Yes, Governor.
Mr. President. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Governor.
I'm at the airport trying to check in, but I just want to say something before I go off. Ingrid has been such a wonderful moderator. Keep that level of engagement. You have good skills in the area of communication and moderation. So go for gold. Don't just take it casually. I think you can be a very top-notch moderator in this land. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Fantastic.
DJ Mike.
One thing governors do best is they read presidents' minds. You've just read my mind. But nonetheless, friends, our time is really fast spent. I request that we borrow only 5 minutes of our precious time to enable us bring this to a close in a more formidable way. But our panelists and moderator, wow, I don't know about the rest, but when you speak, you give us a beacon of hope that our future is secure. Thank you very much for this great message that you've passed across today. But above all, thank you for the great leaders you are. And I know that indeed, like DG Mike has said, go for gold. Your better days are ahead. They are not behind you. Having said that, allow me invite our friend, my brother, Changemaker President Adrian Mutiava from the Rotary Club of Mlago School of Nursing and Midwifery to please move a befitting vote of thanks to our panelists and moderator for today. CMP Adrian, over to you.
Thank you, President Frederick. And to all Rotarians, Rotaractors, and friends of Rotary on call. And thank you for this opportunity given unto me. I really don't take it for granted. To Alan Tambilukoda, past district representative, Jacob Sen, representative Sarah Owembabazi, you have really done the topic of the value of youth, of what the youth needs, most especially in our organization as Rotary Justice. No one would have done it better. I thank you for your deliberations. My pick of the day was both of us, the youth and the old, ought to play our roles to the best for us to gain something from this conversation. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to our moderator, my fellow Changemaker President, Ingrid. Thank you you've done, like everyone else has said, you've done the moderation justice. Yeah, certificates, like they're being projected, have been presented to you. Rotary Ingrid Atugonza, DRR Isara Wembabazi, and District Rotary Representative Alan Tambi, and our past District Rotary Representative Jacob Sendaula. Please, when you receive them, you can get the hard copy, put it at your office table, put it in your living room, put it in your bedroom table, and always remember this day when you presented at the Rotary Club of Kampala Daybreak. Thank you very much, and may you be blessed.
Thank you very much, Changemaker President Adrian, for moving a befitting vote of thanks. Friends, right about now, I would like to request none other than Rotarian Irene Katende to precisely give us the statistics for this day. Over to you, Irene.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Fellow Rotarians on this call, this morning I've captured 165 visiting clubs, 10 Rotaract clubs, and 2 guests. The Rotaract clubs this morning, the numbers were overwhelming for reasons better known to us. And these were Ndeje City, Kampala Central, Mulago School of Nursing and Midwifery, Nakawa Mobs, Chambogo, Victoria Nile, Kampala South, Kololo, and Rubaga. The Rotary clubs were Muyenga, Morning Stars, Chiwatule, Gulu, Sonde, E-Club, Muvuntinda, Kampala Central, Saturday E-Jazz, Sunrise, Bwebaja, Kampala, Kampala South, Port Bell, Mtinda, Kampala East, Maisha, Bweyogelele Nambole, Chenjojo, Lake Victoria, E-Club, Uganda Global, Acacia Sunset, Kampala Metropolitan, Makindye, Kampala, Kampala City, Upper Kololo, Buloba, Namasuba, Sese Island, Muyenga Breeze, Bukoto, Nansana, Luboa, Woblenzi, Kampala Impala, and Kampala North. We had 2 guests. These were Lynn and Fiona. For those clubs that I've not captured, kindly you can put your clubs in the chat room for recognition. And thank you so much. Over to you, President.
Thank you very much, Club Admin Rotarian Irene Katende. And I'd like to add a voice to what you've said. Colleagues on call, kindly receive our apologies should we have, for one reason or the other, left out the Rotary or Rotaract Club. Please register in the chat room. We will kindly take note and appreciate your visit to our club this morning. As I prepare to invite our super lady and super admin, none other than Rotarian General Pito, to give us the final toast, I would like to say thank you very much to each and every single one of you for plugging into our meeting this morning. What a joy it is. But I will never cease to recognize our Rotary leaders, all the way led by our district governor-elect, DG Mike Sebaru. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much, our district leaders, led by our own Jane Kabugo. Thank you very much, our change maker assistant governors that have attended to us, led by our very own AGKK. Thank you very much for always being with us. We appreciate your support, your never-ending support to this club. You have put a building block on what this club is today, and we never take it for granted. Thank you so very much. To our friends from District 9214, not even preparations for the DCA could seize you the moment of daybreak. Thank you very much for joining in, led by our very own VCC and the CCE, Jaja Muzungu. Thank you very much for being with us. My colleagues, Changemaker presidents, led by none other than POP Kate and POP Donna. It is always warming to have each and every single one of you be with us here at daybreak. To you all, Rotarians, Retractors, interactors, and guests that have been with us, thank you very, very much. And for the great discussion that we've had from our great Rotary youth leaders, We appreciate each and every single one of you. Rotarian Jane, over to you for the final toast.
Thank you so much, President, for the opportunity. Indeed, it has been a fantastic fellowship. Thank you so much for the understanding of the youth. So with all that said and done, I would like us to straighten our jackets, lift our glasses up and cups, and give a toast to Rotary International.
Rotary world over.
Rotary world over.
Rotary world over.
Rotary world over.
Thank you very much. May God bless you and make you a blessing. Allow me to officially declare the Chimeza open. I know there were so many concerns and questions that were coming from the chat room. Colleagues raised their hands for the, in the interest of time, we're not able to pick their questions. But right now, we can have a chat through them. I do not know, though, how much time Sarah and DRR is Sarah and DRR Alan are here with us to really give, insights to whoever has clarification.